Hello and welcome to Glen Willow Regional Sports Stadium. We're on Wiradjuri land in Mudgee, New South Wales for this clash that sees the Mariners looking to break that run of just one win in their last 7 and reclaim provisional second spot on the table. While Macarthur, they have bounced back last week with that last-minute victory over Brisbane and are hoping for back-to-back wins for the first time under new coach Mile Sturjovski. Well, for the Mariners, undefeated in their last 6 home games, they have no less than 3 players missing through suspension, including first-choice defender Brian Kaltak. Nectar Triantos is away with the Australia under-20 side, and now Jacob Farrell has also succumbed to illness, so it's 21-year-old Cameron Windust making his first start of the season alongside Dan Hall in defence. Elsewhere, Christian Theoharis makes his first start since his January switch from Western United at the expense of Josh Nisbet in midfield, and Marco Tullio returns for the suspended Benny Nkololo. And a return to a 4-4-2 formation for the Mariners. Well, the Socceroos, and he'll be very happy to see his name in the squad for the upcoming matches against Ecuador. Hopefully for his sake, Jason Cummings, the 27-year-old, 12 goals this season, but 3 of the last 4 have come from the penalty spot. In this fixture last season in Mudgee, he provided 3 assists as the Mariners won 4-2. Well, they are fresh from that victory over Brisbane. Macarthur, Mile Sturjovski looking for back-to-back wins, and just the one change, Georgian striker Bachana Arabuli, who scored the opening goal last weekend, he is out with a groin strain, so new signing Jason Romero comes in for his first start. Tommy Uzcock and Matt Miller continue in defence, and Danny De Silva in midfield, all 3 players ex-Mariners, while Alexander Shushnya makes his return to the bench. There's still no Craig Noon, he's suspended. Uli Davila and Moody Najjar are injured, and Jed Drew is away at the Asian under-20s. Well, there is Jason Romero making his first start in the A-League after prolific spells in the New South Wales NPL with St George City and Apia Leichhardt. The American stepping up to the next level for a Macarthur side in need. And it's the Mariners who get us underway in Mudgee. They would gratefully accept a repeat performance of last year's result in that 4-2 victory here at Glen Willow Regional Sports Stadium, which is hosting A-League football for the 3rd time. They beat Macarthur 4-2 that day, and Grayskill, another win for them today, will see them move back into that hunt for a top 2 finish.
Well, certainly, Robbie, Central Coast Mariners looking to get their side back to winning ways. It's been a difficult trot for them the last few weeks, so they will want to consolidate that top 6 position.
They have taken just 2 points from their last 9 available. They've actually taken just 5 of 27. Theoharis, nice turn. The 2 former Western United players up against each other. Theoharis looks to get it back again. He's done this brilliantly. And the shot, the first of the match in the 6th minute, is claimed by Philip Curto. Tommy Uzcock, the captain of this Macarthur side, in the absence of Uli Davila. Here is Miller, taking on McGarry. Back to Arzani, driven in hard towards De Silva. And against his former club, Macarthur have the lead 11 minutes in. Reward for a brighter start in Mudgee.
That's a really nice patient build-up there from Macarthur. On the Harvey Norman replay, they haven't looked to force that too soon. Well worked by Arzani at the base of that ball, but this delivery in is delightful as well. And De Silva has done excellently to get in front of his man and just tap that one home into the near post. That's a really clinical goal.
Comes the corner, back post, the header from Windust.
It wasn't a bad ball. Swung in for Theoharis, and Windust rising above the rest. Got a pretty good look at it. It's just shy of the post.
For McGarry, signed a new 2-year contract after just 4 appearances for the Mariners since arriving from Newcastle, the Kiwi left back. That's a lovely touch for Roux. And towards Cummings. Corner kick for the Mariners.
Love that creativity from the Mariners.
Dan Hall looking to get the Mariners moving forward again. With McGarry. It's a good run by Cummings. Into the area. Cummings looking for support. Arrives in the form of McGarry. Well defended by Bacchus. Silvera is there. Cummings again. Overlapping run from Storm Roux. Now that's hit Wietzer on the arm, but the arm's held behind his back. You have to feel pretty hard done by if you gave away a penalty while holding hands behind your back.
You can only do so much, right? But again, good creativity. Storm Roux with an overlapping run.
4 seasons in one day, indeed. A few showers around as we watch this build-up from the Central Coast Mariners.
Yeah, we'll just stick live with the action. McGarry's ball in. Now Harrison Steele with Tullio, who shoots through the legs. And Curto had to be alert there.
Yeah, Central Coast are just starting to press a little better here. Lovely one-touch football, and Tullio did have Theoharis as an option to his right, but a decent shot away, and Curto had to be down quickly for that one.
Silvera with Harrison Steele. He's the player. Played last week in a midfield 3 and held his spot as it was Nisbet who dropped to the bench. Here's Ballard, the other of that triumvirate in the middle of the park. And now McGarry invited forward and into the area. McGarry shoots brilliantly. And it's in off the crossbar. The Mariners are level. And that was some finish.
Oh, that is a vicious strike there from James McGarry. He's a player with confidence at the moment. Confidence to get a shot away on a Harvey Norman replay. It's just floated in. Late run. A good little ball out from Theoharis, but that is a lethal finish from McGarry. Great strike into the back of the net. That's delightful.
A second goal in 5 appearances for the Mariners, as you can hear the cannon fire. And the recent history of entertaining matches between these two sides looks like it's continuing here as Toure charges into the area. It might fall for Arzani. Now De Silva straight down the middle for Vukovic. So he joins Theoharis and Roux as that ball over the top is a great one for Tullio. And now Cummings, can he dig it out? Tullio might be offside, blocked. Cummings again. The challenge by Bacchus, and Aspropotomides gets it clear. And clear all the way up the other end with Al Hassan Toure now. Arzani in support. Toure, the step overs into the area. Windust stands up and does well. Oh, Harrison Steele's clearance was ill-advised, to say the least, and almost a comedy of errors at the back for the Mariners. What can he produce here? Arzani goes for goal, side netting.
For a moment there, it did look like that one had just snuck in between legs, in between traffic.
Exciting player, Daniel Arzani. And that shooting from that kind of angle is the kind of extravagance and creativity you come to expect as Tullio's ball in. And Jason Cummings, who said he wanted to find his scoring boots for this trip, well, he might not get a better chance all afternoon. Tullio, misunderstanding with Theoharis. Let's have a look at that again.
Well, it was a great run from Tullio. Macarthur can't quite manage to clear it, and that is an excellent save from Philip Curto. Made himself big.
Romero for Bacchus. Arzani, the bench telling him to charge forward. Arzani still, past Ballard. Still Arzani, dinking it through for Holman. Rounds the keeper, and with the goal at his mercy, just can't roll the ball into an empty net. Huge let-off for the Mariners.
Well, it was an enterprising run there from Arzani. It absolutely sent Ballard to the deck. And that little reverse pass across the shoulder, Holman will be bitterly disappointed with that.
massive chance for Jake Holman. Silvera. McGarry again. The cross in is a good one. Tullio's header at the back post can't hit the target.
But again, that's better from the Mariners, just stretching the field, opening up spaces between Macarthur's defensive line. The ball to the back post. Silvera's got a little quiet the last few minutes, but they're the kind of touches, that's the kind of play that we've seen a lot from him throughout the course of the season. And Tullio, how many times?
Through for Theoharis. Into the area. Theoharis still on that left foot. What a save! Philip Curto is keeping his side in the contest at the moment. That was a brilliant fingertip stop.
You can see the way that Theoharis was shaping up for this one. Dearly wanted this on his favoured left foot, and he's cut inside well. But that is an exquisite save from Philip Curto. Had to get a touch, had to get a fingertip. That was destined to the top stanchion otherwise.
Backus with Holman. Jake Holman riding the challenge of Silvera and shoots. Comfortable for Vukovic.
Holman keen to make amends for his chance earlier on. Nice little neat touch inside, and does well enough to get this shot away.
It is the Mariners who will have the last chance of this first half. Ball chipped back post. Beyond Dan Hall. McGarry keeps it in play, but there's no more time. And a thoroughly entertaining first 45 minutes in Mudgee. The former Mariner, De Silva, opening the scoring from Daniel Arzani's cross in the 11th minute before James McGarry celebrating his contract extension with a third career goal and a second in 5 games for the Mariners. It means that at half-time in central New South Wales, it's the Central Coast Mariners 1, Macarthur FC 1. And we have a substitution at the break with Jonathan Aspropotamides making way for Alexander Shushnyar, who comes into the game for his 50th A-League appearance, all of them with the Macarthur Bulls. He's the third player now to reach 50 A-League appearances with Macarthur, after Lockie Rose and Charles Mombois. And he missed a lot of this season through injury, so Shushnyar back alongside Tommy Uskok in the centre of defence. Second half underway, this one very evenly poised between a Macarthur side fighting for their finals hopes, a win, and they will move level with 6th place Sydney FC. While for the Central Coast Mariners, Grace, we've seen glimpses of their early season form today, but with just 1 win in their last 7, they need to get back to that winner's circle, throw their hat back in the ring for a top 2 finish, let alone a top 6.
That's right, and with just a few games remaining for either team, those 3 points and those results, as much for position on the ladder is important for momentum as much as anything else. I'm just wondering if that change for Macarthur, with Aspropotamides coming off, you'd have to think would be a niggle or load management. He had a really sound first 45 minutes.
He did, Aspropotamides, who scored his first one and only A-League goal against the Central Coast Mariners earlier this season in that absolutely thrilling 3-2 victory, in which Jed Drew, against the 10 men of the Wanderers, was the Mariners rather, after the first red card of the season for Brian Kaltak. Jed Drew got his first goal, and it was the winner for Macarthur on that day when Aspropotamides got his first ever A-League goal as well. As Ballard into the area, it's brilliantly done. The touchback for Cummings. And inside 2 minutes of the restart, the Mariners are in front. And it's their Scottish-born Socceroo Jason Cummings, who rediscovers his scoring touch.
Oh, well, this is really tidy on the Harvey Norman replay. Great touches from the Central Coast Mariners. A brilliant driving run from Ballard. And selfless play from Central Coast. Jason Cummings, right place, right time, as a striker does. And that is a very tidy finish.
Two Socceroos leading the way as Theoharis wrestling with Arzani. Arzani just comes out on top. Holman, though, doesn't. And Theoharis away quickly, releasing Tullio. Marco Tullio hits it and scores! Clinical finish from the Brazilian, rifling the ball into the bottom left-hand corner. And the Mariners have blitzed Macarthur at the start of this second half.
Oh, well, this is some start from the Mariners on the Harvey Norman replay. This ball from Theoharis, delightful. Tullio, still plenty of work to do, and that's a very tidy finish, very clinical. Finds the far netting. And on this occasion, Philip Curto, who has been excellent this afternoon, outstretched, cannot get a fingertip to it. And the Mariners are flying.
Well, an average of 5 goals a game between these two. The last 4 times they've met. We're only one off now. De Silva's ball back in. Jason Cummings with the defensive header. De Silva with Bacchus. The Mariners want the offside flag. Throw goes Macarthur's way. Holman's cross. Miller. Nicely done. Deflects up off Dan Hall, though. It's a comfortable one for Danny Vukovic. As here's Arzani again for Macarthur. Little touch off for Romero to try one. Well, that will do his confidence some good as well. A first sighting on goal for the American. Here's Windust. Cummings. The cut back for Ballard. Saved by Curto. And the referee says penalty. And a yellow card coming out for Jake Holman. And a chance for the Mariners to put this one to bed.
Well, it was a fantastic run off the shoulder of his defender by Jason Cummings, and the cutback equally as neat, and it will be Cummings who will step up behind this penalty, unsurprisingly so.
With the chance to score his second and the Mariners' 4th against a penalty expert in Philip Curto. And Cummings makes no mistake, confidently stroking the ball into the top right-hand corner. And surely now this injury-struck, suspension-struck Mariners are on their way to victory in Mudgee.
Well, on the Harvey Norman replay, that is a confidently hit penalty. He spoke about having his shooting boots on before the game, and shooting boots he has brought today. A really professionally hit penalty by Jason Cummings.
Silveira dispossessed by Scotardus. Overlapping run from Miller. It's well worked. Oh, and Romero just couldn't get on the end of it. And then Bacchus. There's no first Macarthur goal for him. 5 minutes left, plus stoppages. That pass from Windust picked off by Bacchus. Romero, who has shown his worth back to goal, if not really getting a sighting on goal himself, as Dan Hall is pinned for the foul on Matt Miller, who continues to charge forward, even if it's getting harder and harder to get back.
He's relentless, Matt Miller. And again, he's made another really good run just in the top of the 18-yard box. A leg out there from Dan Hall.
You have to be tempted to get your first ever A-League goal with a very special set piece against a goalkeeper of the caliber of Danny Vukovic. Belgian goalkeeper of the year just 4 years ago, as Uglar is low to that far post, maybe hoping for a runner or two. Saved by Vukovic. Excellent distribution as well for Kuszewski. Straight up the other end, he looks back post towards Zoricic. His first touch is a wonderful one for Cummings. A wonderful cushion pass from Zach Zoricic for a first touch in A-League football, almost setting up Jason Cummings.
Oh, that's really clever from Zoricic. I love that he's gone first time on that touch to try and find Cummings.
Ball back wide, Cummings, lovely little touch, Duarte for Zoricic. Are the youngsters going to combine for something special here? Zoricic, Ballard, outside for Nico Duarte. Back again for Zoricic, into the area, Zoricic still closed down. Duarte arriving on the scene. Bodies falling everywhere, limbs kicking out at the ball. And it's picked off by Bayless. There is depth in this Mariners side. Look at the run through the middle. A good challenge. Nisbet saved Zoricic. And now Duarte just wouldn't fall. It's another brilliant stop from Curto. De Silva. His cross in, back post. They're queuing up. Oh, Uzcock. Back across the face of goal. And a wry smile because there was nobody there. Now Ugla. His cross is a good one towards Uzcock. How did that come off the Mariner last? I think it did. It's another corner. So some late pressure from Macarthur, but can they find just a consolation? De Silva's ball in. Shushnyar's header this time.
Since Potomedes came off, the dynamic of this game certainly has changed for Macarthur.
Free kick this time against Duarte for backing in. But there's time for no more. The Mariners get back to winning ways after 3 matches without victory, led by a double from Socceroo, Jason Cummings in the second half. And it's now 5 away defeats on the trot for Macarthur, whose chances of finals football are evaporating quickly as this season heads into its final 6 weeks. A match that was evenly poised at half-time at 1 apiece was just blown apart by a more determined, more combative, more aggressive Central Coast Mariners in the second half. And after De Silva, it was 4 unanswered goals. McGarry and then that Cummings double either side of Marco Tullio's strike. It's finished in Mudgee. Central Coast Mariners 4, Macarthur 1.